break the chains of silence and fear. In this unity, our voice is clear. With every brother, we lift the veil. In this journey, we will prevail. Accountable masculinity, that's what we need. To be the change, to plant the seed. In every step and every deed. Accountable masculinity, that's what we need. Together we rise, together we stand. In this brotherhood, hand in hand. With love and respect, we build our legacy. In the light of accountable masculinity.
Victor's trying to teach you boys about accountable masculinity. Accountable masculinity. About accountable masculinity.
Welcome to the show, folks. Got a good episode planned for you. We're going to talk about take ownership of your relationship status. Break up with your old expectations. And your relationship status is not limited to your friendships. It encompasses everything. It could be your romantic situation. It could be the relationship you have with your employment, or a relationship that you have with what you think you might be passionate about it. You might be becoming annoyed about it the same way you would with anything. So it's time to take ownership of that, because you may have a perspective that has been overcome by current events and may have changed the way that you see things, and you're just late to recognizing that change. So tonight I got my man, none other than my boy Cabby Wallace. You know what I'm saying? Round of applause for that young man. We don't need the whole clip.
What up?
It's been a couple weeks since we've been on here. The last time we was talking, we had a hurricane situation.
Yeah,
we had a lot of wild stuff happening. You know what I'm saying, in a short span of time.
absolutely.
You know, we've had significant momentum changes in the presidential race. That's always a hot topic, you know what I'm saying, with politics and everything. So what you got to start us off with relationship wise, because we have a relationship with the reality that's in front of us.
Mhm.
and it's wrapped up into some of the things that Kevin Samuels' talking points used to be about, the need to be right. And the people have a relationship with this idea that they already concocted in their head that limits their objectivity, you know what I'm saying, overall, that their point of view of the world is the point of view that you need to have. So in the last, since we last spoke, what have you seen that kind of captures that energy that we're talking about right there?
When you're talking about relationships and accountability, and actually being able to take criticism, all those things.
Yeah, any relationship that fits that spectrum of it, because it's a wide spectrum of things that people feel very passionately about. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Yeah. I mean, all right. So if you give me an example of where we're going with it, you know what I'm saying, I can pretty much just roll with you after that. Just
yeah. Okay. So for instance, right? The other day we spoke, and you hit me up, and you were talking about some guys that are single fathers complaining about the type of responses that they're getting from the women that they're interested in. And I'm seeing a lot of men complaining about women that they say that they're not interested in,
Mhm.
and that I don't understand. What's the relationship between the commitment to, like complaining about something that you're not interested in? To me, it sounds like a relationship that doesn't want you back.
Mhm. Mhm.
in a relationship that you know that in the absence of being able to attract it, you make up for it with something else, you know.
Mhm.
So a lot of people have these things that they have, dare I even say the buzzword, a toxic connection to, you know,
Mhm.
because that desire to complain versus the desire to solve a problem is very strange to me. That's why this podcast is called the Solutions Only Podcast. So
Right, right,
I analyze what people complain about, you know.
right, right.
So and I think people have a weird relationship with things that they complain about.
What's the number one complaint that you've been like hearing about that you that's really been bothering you as far as like you know, brothers that are speaking against the women that they don't want or don't desire?
Oh, I think one of the things I've seen that's just kind of strange and peculiar, you know, like I do process of elimination, right?
Okay.
Like on anything.
Right.
And I'm always curious for like what's the spectrum, I guess, when single mothers are saying that they want a single man with no kids, right?
Okay. Mhm.
We say that they're delusional.
Right.
Does that actually translate to a single father with kids that wants a single woman with no kids?
Yeah, same shit. They're delusional.
It's okay, it's delusional, right?
Right.
Because you're a man with a son and a daughter, right?
Right.
You wouldn't tell your son to go be with this woman that's already got kids. You would advise against it, or you would provide him with enough information to make an informed decision, correct?
Correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be the type of father that would say, "Look, go out there and search for that." No. And I understand that there are, you know, single mothers who are
There's
on
some
this shit.
exceptions.
You know, there's some exceptions, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I get that. But even mothers, I mean, we have to be honest with ourselves. I mean, if the ladies are watching, I know they're watching, even mothers are not going to encourage their sons to go out here and pursue a woman with a child when that boy doesn't have a child already. So even mothers, let's take the fathers out of it, you know, they're not going to you know, go for that. If their son bought a home a woman who had a child already and she knows that her child doesn't have a child already, she's going to pull that boy to the side.
Say, what are you doing?
What are you doing? You don't have a kid, you know, so why are you bothering with this woman that has a kid right now? This isn't your responsibility. I mean, you're still young, you still got a chance to live. Go ahead and live and leave that be. Not saying that she's being an asshole towards the woman, it's just she's like, you haven't created a kid yet, so why are you particularly going after a woman with a kid at such a young age? So
Correct.
a father's response would be the exact same thing. It'd be the exact same thing. We'd say the same thing. Like, what are we doing here? Like, you're 25, you got your whole life ahead of you. You don't really need to take on that. Yeah, not like I said, there are those exceptions. So we must acknowledge those exceptions, that the women that are just on their shit and they just happen to get pregnant, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you would encourage your child, you know, that does not have a kid to definitely go out here and first try to find a mate who doesn't have a kid.
Yes,
Yeah.
I get that. So how would you? So that's how you would talk to your son about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What would you say to your daughter
What would I say to my daughter if she
if she
met?
was being, if she's being pursued by a single father with kids?
It ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. You know, that's why women don't want men with kids, because it's something totally different. You know what I'm saying? I've seen more women actually say they don't want a man with kids than I have seen men say they don't want a woman with kids. Women do not want to date dudes with kids like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they will. I mean, it all depends on where they are in life, especially age, you know. So if you're getting up there at 35, 40 years old, you know, of course you're going to make some exceptions, right?
Yeah,
But if this woman is in her prime, we're talking about between the ages of shit 21 to 30, 31, 32, you know, they don't want no man with no kids, especially if they don't have them. And even if they do have them, like you said, they don't want a man with kids. They don't want the stress. They don't want the toxicity that comes with that, because they know this man has a baby mama.
They know
And
women.
yeah, and they know women, so they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do
Yep.
it. They can say what they want to, but they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna jump on. They're not gonna jump on that boat. Absolutely not. So I would tell my daughter the same thing. Hell no. That's definitely something that you don't want to rock with.
Yeah. Man, that's it's always interesting that I keep seeing this argument, um not necessarily gaining steam, but it's still being kept alive in a way where I'm just so curious about it, because I'm starting to see people like disengage, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
from like whatever the dating community looks like. And I'm saying that very, very loosely from the observation.
Dating community. What the fuck is that?
Well, well, I look at it like this. Everybody that's complaining that,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, about the scarcity of the type of person that they want to be in a relationship with,
Right.
they're a community, as far as
Right.
I'm concerned.
That's true. It's true, but
Yeah,
it's
'cause
just it's just
they
so
got
much. It's just so much pissy water in that pool, man. You know what
they
I'm saying?
they still getting pregnant though. You know what I'm saying? You're getting pregnant in a pissy dating pool. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I just look at it from the outside looking in,
Right.
because I was taking time to appreciate, like the health of my relationship,
Okay.
and the health of the relationships of my friends that are around me. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Right.
Because when you feel like you're doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing. It is good when that's starting to echo, you know what I'm saying, amongst your other peers. You know what I'm saying? Like, like if you married and if you generally got a healthy marriage, you probably got more solid connections and relatability with other married men. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, hell, our relationship is an example of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we both got introduced to each other through another married guy. You know what I'm saying? Shout
Right.
out to Uncle Junior.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
They say birds of a feather flock together, right?
yeah, they do. You know what I'm saying? It's not a lie.
Yeah.
So which is in itself a conversation about behavior, and behavior is
Right.
defined by activity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it has some characteristics associated with activity.
Mm-hmm.
If all of you like to play football, you know what I'm saying, then if all you like to play the same sport, the next thing it boils down to is like, well, what sport do you like to play?
Right.
Right. Are you a fan of more of indoor, outdoor sports, whatever it might be, right?
Absolutely.
You start to find these things by characteristics and behaviors, you know what I'm saying, that go with it. Playing basketball indoors is different than playing basketball outdoors. You know what I'm saying? Same for baseball or any sport that has, you know what I'm saying, a multi-surface type of game, you know what I'm saying, game play, So dating and relationships are no different. There's some places you go to, and based on zip code, everybody's married or either everybody's single. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's a lot of single people in my zip code, no doubt. So and to speak about this whole dating thing, right? Yeah, we were talking about Kitty. I think that's the woman's name on what's that podcast called?
Tonight's Conversation.
Tonight's Conversation. Shout out to Tonight's Conversation.
Yeah.
I know a lot of you guys watch that who are watching this right here. So Tonight's Conversation, Kitty. When it comes to people in this dating game, in this dating pool, in this dating community, I think what you have is a whole lot of people, like she said, who are emotionally immature. So it's kind of similar to what you're saying. People not taking accountability and saying, okay, what am I doing wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, what really am I doing wrong? And I think that's really what this is. People just say, well, I'm going to be who I'm going to be, and I ain't changing for nobody. Well, okay, that type of attitude is not going to work when it comes to marriage. It's not going to work when it comes to a long-term relationship. It's not going to work when it comes to any of that. So I think that's where people get stuck. They have that pride and they say, well, I am who I am. I'm in my 30s. I'm in my 40s. What point is it for me to change? Well, if you have a job, you have to change for your job. And so if you want something special out here, you have to change for it. So you just can't say that it's all about me and my happiness and what I'm comfortable with. No, get uncomfortable. If you get uncomfortable, you'll be more successful in relationships. You'll be more successful in your marriage. Kitty brought up a good point when it comes to that right there. She said, people are emotionally immature. So the fact that she brought up the point where she said that women didn't know how to apologize. Not a lot of women apologize. I think Kitty is a therapist. Is that correct?
I think so too. I think she
Yeah.
definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah, and she said that most of her clients, when she asked that question, when it came to marriage counseling, she said, have you ever apologized to your husband? And the woman said, yeah, I think I have. Then she asked the husband, and the husband like, hell no, she don't never apologize. And women, for the most part, a lot of them don't apologize for anything. So
Yep.
we get stuck in that, and like I said, she said this is a woman that said that is emotional immaturity. That's a person that lacks accountability, and it's all about them. You know what I'm saying? And people get stuck there. And I think that's why people get stuck in that dating pool, to where they can't get out of it because they don't want to change. They do not want to change. They're comfortable being themselves, and that's just what it is.
Old people used to say stuck in their own ways.
Stuck in their own ways, basically, is what it is. That's exactly what it is. And a person that's married can't be stuck in your own ways. You have to adjust. You have to keep on learning on the fly. We were talking about the other day when a person put up what they put up. They said a real man. It was a woman that posted, a real man will do what a woman knows. A real man will do for a woman already before she asks for it. So he's supposed to know in his mind.
That's where our conversation started.
Right. He's supposed to know in his mind, like,
she got to break up. You got to break up with that. You got to break up with that.
Right. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because at the end of the day, yeah, you could say that for a single person or a person that has never had a long-term relationship or marriage. Yeah, you could say that all day. But a person who's been in a relationship or in a marriage, a long-term marriage or relationship, you will notice that your significant other will change. So those things that they might have liked, they might not like no more. Those things that they might have demanded in the beginning, they don't demand anymore. Let's say you bought your wife flowers every day. Well, every week. Laid them on a pillow every Friday, same time, every Friday in the morning. She wake up, she see her bouquet of roses, right? Eventually that shit's going to get boring. Eventually she's going to be like, why you keep doing the same shit over and over again? So at some point you're going to have to change that up. At some point you're going to have to do something totally different because life is going to get boring. So the thing is that that's what makes life exciting. If a person knows what you want all the time and they know what you want before you want it, that means that you're a person that is just, you don't come out this box. You're predictable. You know what I'm saying? And when you become predictable, that's when shit really gets boring, and that's when motherfuckers get cheated on.
Oh, yeah. Hey, coming to the stage, none other than Mr. Eugene.
What up, Eugene?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some tests tomorrow to see what's actually going on.
Yeah, it's all good, man. You've been playing the love guru lately anyway, but since this was your question, I was just about to say, hey, I want to before we get too far down the line about this single parent distortion argument or whatever, since it's your question, go ahead and jump in there, Eugene.
Well, what's the brother name that's on right now?
That's Cappy.
Cabby.
Yeah,
Yep.
Cabby. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I actually agree with Cabby. You know what I mean? I would tell my younger self that if you want to have kids, you need to make a decision right after high school, in college. Don't mean to have kids in college, but make a decision. Somebody like myself, I don't want to have kids, so now I have to start looking at, okay, and this is where Cabby, I had to allow him to continue to speak. Once you get over 35, it's things start looking different for you.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, so now you have to start using the brain. And
absolutely.
so It's like, okay, was it through marriage or was it like out of wedlock? You know,
Right.
Yeah.
so
Right.
that's how I went with it. Like me personally, I don't want to have kids. It's possible it could change in the future, but I've been holding firm on that at the almost 40 age now. So I made a decision to marry my wife, and she is had a child through marriage. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I have to look at the context in regards to my family history. My father comes from like a family of 11. My mom comes from like a family of 10.
Uh-huh.
Um, we had a home daycare growing up, so I've been around kids all my life. So if my family with less resources could raise 11 kids on one side and 10 kids on the other side, immediate family got 4 kids, one child, hey, this is you got to look at where you at. Like
Right.
yeah, so like me myself, like every woman I met that didn't have kids, she want to have kids, like
Yep.
off rip, and she ain't wasting no time. And
Yep.
I actually seen some women showed up that I used to date, and one is married with the child now, and another one is married now, and I'm happy for them because
Mhm.
where I was at in life, like I don't want to marry you, and I don't want to have no kids, and I know you want to have kids, and that's like a big risk with me being a homeowner, or trying to combine assets, or with somebody that could change their mind and say, hey, I want to have kids, and now your name is on the deed.
Right.
So you got to be really mindful if you're coming into the relationship acquiring assets or already have assets. I mean, in Texas, I think if it's what you have prior to is yours, but
Yeah, it's separate property.
yeah, but if you're planning to acquire a property during the marriage, this is a community property state. So, you got to be very, mindful about how you're going about that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you definitely have to look at it different when you got assets, man. You know what I'm saying? It's it's just a reality, man. Because like once you gain enough experience of like what you're doing and what it takes to like be a good steward of your own situation, you can't really take care of nobody else until you understand your own resources and what your obligations are to them. And then even then, you got stuff that can happen that's outside of your control, that doesn't even have anything to do with what you did. It's just some things just have circumstances that come with it that that are dependent on things that operate outside of you, like the economy. Everybody's dealing with issues associated with the economy right now. You can't control that. You know what I'm saying? We just had a bunch of weather damage. So like if you own a bunch of properties or whatever, you're dealing with a lot of insurance claims and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so your liabilities are different. So the last thing you want to do is create a liability that you can't really you don't have the logistics to navigate. So in some ways it's kind of there's a level of trust that doesn't have to get discussed right away. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey, my boy Vic, man, we've been talking behind the scenes, and he said a lot of these conversations among single fathers and single mothers tarnish in the data pool, But I mean, that's what a lot of men have to realize. Like, hey, man, you're 40 and up, so I don't know why you still think you're 20. And this is the reality of getting older.
Yeah.
So
I would say the likelihood of meeting a woman that does not have a child is at this age, we're talking 35 and above. Well, hell, let's say 30 and above is minimal at best. She's probably going to have a child. Same with men. They're probably going to have a child. So it's an adjustment that you just have to make in your mind and say, okay, it's not settling, but it's like, okay, being realistic. That's what it is. Pretty much being realistic. If you're going to be a 40-year-old and you're going to say, well, I need to date a woman that doesn't have a kid, you're going to have to go down to like 21, 22. And at that point, people are going to start calling you a creep. Which it's legal, but whatever.
Like this is the only thing that I say. I think if you are a man that's you know, like looking to have kids, I
Yeah,
would understand why you would be in pursuit of,
a
you
younger
know,
woman.
a younger woman. I got that part.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Um, but I think that if we're just talking about the dating pool and just saying people that's looking for companionship and complaining about their options or whatever, but not realizing that they're the same liability that they're complaining about, you know,
Right,
also.
right, right.
I think you gotta sit down and go back to the drawing board. The same way Kevin Samuels told all those women repeatedly, hey, you need to revisit your, you know what I'm saying, your criteria. You know, it's a lot of men that need to do the same thing too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And not to just harp on that part. Like let's not forget that, you know, he spent 3 years talking to men, telling them to get themselves in a better position so they don't have to have all these complaints either. You know what I'm saying? But I look at how it's gone like full circle, because I guess when you got married friends, you don't see the same conflict the same way. You know what I'm saying? And we could almost have a Thanos like solution. It's like, I think the dating pool got too many single parents in it. You know what I'm saying? That's not being realistic, but on both sides, both men and women. You know,
I agree with
so
you.
and I don't see. I think the younger people, you know, like in the sub 25 age bracket, they just living life right now, and you know they're not looking for nothing with a long term commitment to anything, unless
Yeah.
they
Absolutely not. Right.
and if they are, their marriages are pretty much already kind of like lined up for them, because they're usually young enough where they're still getting a lot of grooming and a lot of guidance from their parents, because most people that are looking for marriage usually are raised to be wives and husbands, or raised by wives and husbands.
Right.
That's just a fact. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So if they're actively looking for it, that's one thing. But then if you got people out there looking for a trick, you know what I'm saying, and using the same terminology, and a trick can't tell the difference,
Mhm.
then out here getting, you know, played and mishandled, that's a different group of people. And when you start getting into the weeds of it, most of those people that's in that spectrum are not raised by parents that were married either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
What
Right.
what
Right.
what did you say, Vic? Provider is for husbands, and
Oh yeah,
anything
like,
else is tricking. What did you say, bro?
oh, let me bring that to the fore. Let me change the screen. I want to make sure I capture that. Hey, the only people that are providers are husbands.
Hmm.
Husbands and fathers, active fathers specifically, but men in general are not providers by themselves.
The
Like,
only men that are providers.
only husbands are providers. I don't care how people hear that. So when women, well, when men are advertising themselves saying that they're providers and they're not married, I find that to be weird, because then women are asking questions like, "Are you a provider?" Like, yeah, if you married, like a man that say he a provider, he ain't married, he a trick if he ain't a daddy.
Yeah. Yeah. You got a good point to that. Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, this is a grown adult. So what do you feel that you need to provide for?
Yeah, like, well,
Right, right, right. If you're like you said, if you're single or you're just mingling out here, you don't have any purpose to provide for. You know, only the person that you're providing for is yourself. That's the only person that you have to divide for.
yeah,
You
like
know,
that's
so
just
yeah,
called being a responsible adult. And too
yeah,
many people are distorting words that are not in their pay grade. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
They're not in their relationship status. You know, you single looking for a provider, you know what I'm saying, and you don't have a ring, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insanity. That's like going to a steak restaurant asking what a chicken tender's at.
that happens. That happens more times than not.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, you asking for stuff you don't understand.
Right,
You don't go to Taco Bell looking for a steak.
right, right. Absolutely, absolutely. I understand what you're saying. I wish that more women demanded marriage. You know, before even
It's
giving a
hard to
man.
demand
Yeah,
marriage when
yeah.
when you raised by your mama. Your daddy wasn't the husband.
Well, yeah, I get that. You know, I get that. But what I'm saying is I wish they would demand marriage prior to given access to their body. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to be honest with you, because
and vice
Go ahead.
versa, right? Men should be
right.
demanding marriage before they giving away they seed, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I mean, to be honest with you, now people will say, well, marriage doesn't always work, and things happen in marriages as well. Okay, I get that. But if you're in a marriage and you're in a real marriage, and before you guys did the do, you understood each other, and you kind of had that vibe, your frequency was right, all that stuff, you're not going to have those issues like you think you're going to have. Of course, you're going to have your down times with your wife. Vic, you can agree to that. Eugene, you can definitely agree to that. You guys are going to have your difficult your difficult moments, but the thing is that because that love is so strong, you're going to work that out. What I'm saying? Vic says it all the time. We need to start vetting each other a whole lot better. Really, when it comes to the dating process, we need to vet each other a whole lot better, because we're just jumping in relationships, and shortly after that relationship gets started, then the marriage, starts being talked about and all that stuff. You need to make sure you know where each other is.
Yeah, and I agree with you, bro. And I'm interrupting respectfully.
No, you got you
You
go.
good?
If
good here, Eugene.
Yeah, if we're going to be, vetting, men got to know how to date, and I think what happens is that men were really never taught like best practices on dating and courting, so you can really find that wife. And everybody got a mask on in the beginning.
Absolutely.
So how do you know if this is a mask or not? And I recommend to men. And it's amazing that men 40 and up still don't understand how to date. But I get it. If you're a career oriented man, you probably never had time to that until like you got yourself established, or you might got married really early and now you're divorced and now you're back out here in this dating scene and you don't really know, right? So, I recommend to the men is like, hey man, you need to be dating multiple women, and it doesn't mean that you're having sex with them, right? Just you need to see what is it that you like and what you don't like.
Yeah, you know what, Eugene? We were talking about that podcast that Kitty is on and Keita is on about. Is it about last night? I can't remember.
Tonight's conversation.
Tonight's conversation. Okay.
You just gonna make it in.
Yeah. Tonight's conversation.
They gonna say shout out.
Right. Keita actually said that, and the fellas on that podcast gave her some hell. That same thing that you just said, Eugene, like date multiple people at one time. They gave Keita hell because automatically when you say dating multiple people at one time, the subject matter of sex automatically comes in your head. You're thinking that you're having sex with each and every person. No, you're not doing that. Basically,
they gave her so they gave her gave her the business, huh?
Right. They gave her the business because for one, it's a female saying it.
Right.
And people automatically think that females can't date without having sex, and that is a false narrative.
Look, man, I think
females can date without having sex, bro. It's like they have just as much sexual discipline as we do. So
it go both ways, right? So I'm just like, man, the
it has to, otherwise it's a crime.
Yeah, I mean, right now, man, it's just been so it's like a state of an emergency right now, where we need men to be speaking the same rhetoric as the woman. Now, I just got exposed to that show maybe like a day.
I love it.
Yeah, maybe like two days ago, I got exposed to the show.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really great. I like, to be honest, man, I'm really happy. So I really don't got a dog in the fight.
I really don't.
And I'm just like, man, but it's so much misinformation, disingenuous men that think that they're so special, and you're not. No. Everybody thinks they're the man, right? But if you haven't put a ring on it, you haven't moved this woman into your house, you haven't got some documentation, I mean, you're going to have to show some high level of commitment. If you're not doing that, don't be so naive that you don't think that she's not going to be dating other men. You have not committed to her. So yes, she's going to be dating other men, and men and women need to see what they like and what they don't like, because it's going to come up in the relationship anyway. So I need you to be absolutely 100% confident that I'm that person. But what I do is I make sure that we are equally yoked and equally invested. So just to give you a story, man, when I was single and dating, and I'm balling out of control on this real estate, the market was super hot, right? And I'm like, man, I'm getting some pushback on this dating scene. And I realized that I was not making the women invest. Like when I didn't have the money, it's like, yo, we're gonna half on this hotel. Like where your other half at,
Right.
And I realized, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to Houston. I got a chick out here in Houston, so I'm gonna just go get a hotel.
Right.
But that's actually me investing and not making that woman invest. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, can I step in here?
Yeah,
Can I
go
step in for a second?
Yeah.
So there's a video that's out, and it's another podcast. I don't know the name of this one either, but the woman is talking about men not taking women out on dates. She's insisting on men to not take women out on dates. So she said, do not spend money on women. She said if they are not willing to go to a park and have a conversation.
Oh yeah, I know you talking.
You saw that too. You saw that too.
Yeah.
And one of the women was like, "Nah, you telling these dudes the wrong thing, chick. What you doing? You know what I'm saying? You fucking up the game."
Well, I'm gonna push back on that because that's subjective, and I don't really think that's best practice for a man. For me, and I know what worked really well was like. And I'm not gonna like sugarcoat. I'm a very sexual person, so if I'm taking you out on a date, like I want to close the deal like later on. You know what I'm saying? So if we went out on
that's close to paying for pussy, man.
I mean, like I'm already going to the bar anyway, so it's no different if I was smoking weed, right? If I'm already smoking weed, you can come through and hit the weed, because I'm already smoking. I don't like to smoke by myself, right?
I got you.
So I do have a limit on the drinks. I'm not buying out the bar, but we could do 2 double shots and have a conversation. So like the walk in the park is good for people that's not really like sexual based and they like that. But like with me, if I took you to the park and you're walking at the park, now you're sweaty and it's going to take out the romance. Your hygiene then went to par. My cologne went to par. So I might not get that at the end of the night. I don't even I don't even recommend to go on a date during the day, because that means somebody got to go back to work, or you still in that type of mindset, So
when you were in the single game or in that market, pretty much you dated to pretty much fuck, at the end.
Yeah, hands down, no ifs.
Well, it's okay to be honest, though.
I'm coming in to establish my territory, eating snacks. I gotta observe the scenery, and she might be going through a hiatus with the next guy, and now she decided to take me up on my offer, and I gotta lay down the territory.
So I'm gonna ask you a personal question. You don't have to answer, but I'm gonna ask you a personal question. So out of all these dates that you had like that, to where you knew that you were courting for some pussy at the end, what percentage would you say you closed the deal?
Like 9 out of 10.
God damn. So 9 out of 10 women fucked you on the first night?
Yeah, hands down.
Ooh.
Hey, they don't.
It's rough out there, man.
Hey, man, look. This it's hard to believe for a lot of people that there's some men out there that can get exactly what they want.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
What I'm about to say is this though. People will hear that and think that it's cocky and arrogant, but sometimes what a man wants is way down here.
Right.
Sex ain't that high on the priority.
No, it's not. Yeah.
It's like it either happens or it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't change the value of it. We adjusted to the market.
Yeah, we definitely. Men definitely.
It's really
ain't no doubt about it.
It's really for most men is take it or leave it. So
Yeah.
that's why they end up having these babies that was born out of boredom.
Yeah,
So
that's
you know, so the value of pussy pretty much changes just like the value of products, right? You know, the more demand that there is,
Supply and demand.
yeah, supply and demand. You know, so if you don't have a whole lot of supply, but you got a lot of demand, it's worth more. You know, but if you have a whole lot of supply and the same amount of demand, yeah, that's gonna be the value is going to be very low. You know,
yeah,
so at this point, and this is why I say that that dating pool is very pissy because at this point they just giving it away. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Listen to the statistic that you just gave me. You said 9 out of 10, it's 90% of the time. You know, so 90% of the time you close a deal. So 90% of the time you went to a bar with the intentions in your mind saying that I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna give me some pussy. And so
yeah,
what you did is you went out there, you courted, you know, and you said 2 double shots. That's what I mean, what maybe $30 in
Maybe.
most places. Yeah, maybe
mhm,
$30.
mhm,
You
yeah,
got laid for $30.
yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, yeah. I mean, I got a pretty good system, bro. So
Your
I'm
game
gonna
is
talk. I'm going.
strong as shit.
Yeah,
Ain't no
I'm
doubt
going.
about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you. My first vetting system is on the phone.
Yeah.
And and I have a system called Form Family, Occupation, Recreation, and Motivation. And I like to keep it on what women like to do for fun and stuff like that. But I'm gathering intelligence to see where she's at mentally. So that works. But also, even before that, right? I give the woman my number. Now, the only exception is if she gives me her number when I give her my number, then this is a woman that's still expecting me to be the man.
Mhm.
Outside of that, like I'm giving her my number, and if she don't text me and I don't hear from her, I could care less. But when I get that number and I get a message saying, "Hey, this is Tanya," like, okay, I know she's interested in me.
Right.
So then number two is going to be, "Hey, can you talk?" And this is my blueprint, bro. Blueprint. Can you talk? Oh no, I'm busy right now. Okay, when can you talk? Oh, I'm available after 8. I'm gonna hit them up at 8. Or maybe not exactly at 8 because I don't want to make it, of course you gotta play the game. And then it's like, hey, can you talk now? Yes, I can talk. Then I'm a caller. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not texting you during this whole time frame if you're not available when I send you a message. So I'm placing like I'm about this business. You know what it's about. And when I get you on that line, I'm going to have a, gathering data, building rapport, and I'm setting up the date on the first call. And
It's like
if I'm,
wholesaling property.
yeah, exactly. It's no different. And I'm setting up the date immediately. Hey, you available this evening? Are you available tomorrow? And if she like, yeah, that lets me know she ready for something. And I'm going, it's going to the bar. And I had got so good, Cavi.
Yeah.
The women at the bar wanted to know, like the servers was trying to holler. And it was so funny to me because it's like, y'all know I'm coming here with different women Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Y'all know my routine by now. And
Yeah.
now they want to know what it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, because they know usually Playboys got big dicks. So, they're gonna do that.
Yeah. So,
They want to see what you got packing down there. So it's like,
yeah.
damn, this nigga fucking a different woman every goddamn week. Let me go see
Yeah.
what this let me see
Yeah.
what this nigga got between his
Yeah,
legs.
I'm saying, they be thinking with their cat the same way we
Yeah.
be thinking with it.
And I tell people that all the time. Women are no different when it comes to that right there. They think with their cat just as much as we think with our dick. So it's the same thing, And to be honest with you, man, it's a lot of women out here that are boss chicks that are making dough and they've done well for themselves, man. And sometimes all they want is a good fuck. They don't want anything else but that. They don't want no relationship. They don't want no marriage. People have this misconception about women, man. Women are not a monolith, bro. People think that
Right.
every woman wants the same damn thing, and that's not the case.
It's
You know what I'm
not.
saying? I hate the fact, that men out here or people out here, just the culture out here will call a woman a hoe or a bitch because she out here and she had 10 men in 1 month. Shit. I mean, she might just be just like that dude that
I got
had 10 women in one goddamn month. She just balling. She a boss. She don't need nothing from no man. All she need is to feel good from that nigga, and that's it. You know, what's wrong with that?
Case in point, right? Let me refresh this real quick.
Yeah. That's cool. He calling all them bitches over.
Hey, what they doing?
Yeah, they want that. They want that big bull dick. That's what they want.
They move that fast all week.
Absolutely.
And check this out. It says, and the ladies ain't fighting over him either.
No. You know, so it is what it is, bro. It is what it is, man.
The humans take note.
He had to call his herd, huh?
Yeah, he called them all over there. Let me see which one of y'all I'm hit. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly what it is. You know? Yeah. But you see how aggressive and assertive he was, right? He just got out, was like, I already know I'm gonna give me some pussy. I'm good. So you know?
Let me just leave this up there. You know let me just leave that up there for a little bit.
Hey man,
you gotta assert yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can't be I think that's where a lot of these complaints are coming from. You know what I'm saying? Going back to that delusion, you know what I'm saying? Take ownership of your relationship status, right? And once you do that, you could change it if you really want to change it. But if you don't want to change it and you care more about the complaints than the solution to it, then you need to go to therapy for real. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to be useful to anybody. And eventually that thing that you complain about, which is an indication of lack in your life, it's going to start showing up everywhere.
Right.
It's gonna start showing up everywhere, man.
I see these complaints about these men, and not to interrupt what you said, but
no, you go ahead.
I see these complaints about these men that come out here and say, you know, well, these women won't date anybody under 6 foot tall. Okay, well, don't date the women that want men 6 foot tall. It's as simple as that. So pretty much, there's plenty of women out here that will date men that are less than 6 foot tall. You know what I'm saying? Oh, women won't date men that make less than 6 figures. Okay, well, don't date that. Go out here and find a woman that dates a man that makes less than 6 figures. You know, a man or a woman won't date a man that drives a Toyota Camry. Okay, well, don't date that. Go out here and find a woman that'll date a man with a Toyota Camry.
Yeah,
it's like you saying, stop bitching and complaining about the women that don't want you. You know what I'm saying? And find a woman that do want you.
It's weird.
It's weird as fuck.
like when you really think about it, it's like, you know, I get that the red pill is useful for as a stage of understanding what's your real reality. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I get that, but you got to grow out of that.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta disengage from content that is not helping you change your own circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Because if you still got the same complaints now that you had, you know what I'm saying, 3-4 years ago,
right?
At what point are you going to say it's me? Because I also pulled up this old post that I made 2 years ago. Anybody want to read that?
Yeah, I got you. True or false? Kevin Samuels' content has turned some men into the delusional male equivalent of the delusional women that call his platform. Yes, true. Very true. Very true.
You see the date on that?
Yeah, I see that. That's February 18, 2022. And yes, absolutely, bro. You talked about that when we first came on.
And that was before that was before he passed away too.
Right. You talked about this before when we first came on. You were talking about delusional men. Yes, there are a bunch of delusional men out here that have this perfect woman in mind that they want, and it don't exist. You know what I'm saying? It don't exist. You're talking about you want a woman to submit to you and lay down to your feet, kiss your feet, and rub your feet every night. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that don't really exist no more. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it does at some point, but
you're just not qualified for it.
And even if you qualified for it, that particular type woman might just not be out here like that. You know what I'm saying? Some women don't like feet. They don't want to rub your goddamn feet because they just simply don't like feet.
I don't think those women exist in the same social brackets that these men are requesting them in.
That's
The-
correct. too,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, the same social economics.
Yes, social economics, the social economics, like the people skills. You
Right.
have to be a certain type. You have to be in a location that attracts that. Number one, in general, those people have to just be there. If you wanted to be in your local environment, generally speaking, that's why the passport bros exist. You know what I'm saying? Because they believe in chasing this, this fantasy or this idea that there's a woman out there that'll do your bidding in so many ways. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At the most primitive, misogynistic level, you know what I'm saying, of how that conversation gets had, they believe that woman exists and she'll do everything and wait on your beck and call.
Absolutely correct. That's the whole reason they exist. Right.
Yep. But to get that out of a woman that that actually likes you and you like her and y'all like each other and then y'all like each other within the relationship, there's tiers to this, you know what I'm saying, level of compatibility. And it's going to be some trade-offs. She might wash your feet, you know what I'm saying? But what else do you have to deal with in order to get your feet?
Well, here's the thing. What I'm saying, this is all I'm saying when it comes to, oh, I want my feet rubbed, or I want a massage every night, I want a home cooked meal and all this stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens when you date somebody who's a nurse or who's a travel nurse who's making $80,000 to $100,000 a year and she's working her ass off every fucking day? She's too tired to do any of that shit. So you got to think about this woman's occupation as well. You got to think about women who are doctors, women who are lawyers, who work more than 40-hour work weeks, dude. They do not have the energy for that shit. I know so many women who are bosses who have maids clean their houses. Yeah. They don't clean their fucking house. They have maids clean their house. They pay for prepared. Yeah, they pay for prepared chef made dinners. They pay for all that shit. So at the end of the day, like, you have to look at the reality. Where are we in America right now? Are women in the same spot that they were in 50 years ago? Hell no.
They're not in the same spot 20 years ago.
Fuck no. These women are bossing up, dog. So look, we have to acknowledge it as men and just say, yo, these women making money now. They doing
Kevin, are you married, bro?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
How long you been married, man?
7 years.
7 years? Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, so I think that's why there's a lot of synergy on this stream, because we're all married men, so we understand the dynamics of what's going on out here in this dating scene. And,
absolutely.
And the expectations, it has to meet reality somewhere. And a lot of these men, man, they're very angry because they're under sex, and it's like, man, if you can't get no sex, I just don't.
I don't know what to say, bro.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
man.
Yeah, it's a lot of men. They're giving game. I was like, hey, I don't see no woman with you, bro.
Right.
You're not married, bro, and you're not in no relationship. Then I can't really measure you. You're like pseudo right now. It's no different than a business coach telling you about business and he don't run no business.
Ain't got no portfolio.
Preaching.
Right.
Prosperity preaching.
Right.
Prosperity preaching.
Yeah.
Again, come on.
I hopped on my partner live yesterday, and I was just like, and my friend reached out and was like, man, yeah, he was, he talks really good for 33, man. This dude he got his stuff together. And I was like, yeah, he do, but he don't have a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, you can say everything right, like Derek Jackson. I already knew Derek Jackson was BS.
Yeah, I think we all did.
Yeah, right. So
me did.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
I was like, look, you getting caught up in this guy saying certain things, and I'm telling you, when it comes to marriage, you can say I'm the man, I'm the provider, I'm paying the bills, I can reinvent myself. It's going to be like this. And does this woman have an education and career already?
Yeah.
because she's gonna have questions. She's
Mhm.
just not gonna jump because you say jump. She's not your employee. This is your wife.
Right.
So that type of, yeah, it sounds good in theory. Like, yeah, she's gonna come and work for the company, and this is the system that I got in place, and all she got to do is fall in line. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So, and if it really worked, you will have a woman to show that you are able to reproduce. Where is the woman at? Why is
Mhm.
everything behind the scene? So
Mhm.
it's so much pseudo information. And I really believe that men that are in a relationship or married men really should be leading these conversations and not from no pseudo men that cannot show no work, that cannot be measured. I don't even like Kevin Samuels is the godfather and all of that, but he wasn't he wasn't in a relationship.
No.
So I don't like no look what you did in business prior to the internet don't count. I can tell you, like, yo, if you ain't, if you are on the internet and you can't find a woman, like I know it's something wrong with you, you're mentally or economically, because there's no reason you should be single, knowing that it's a buyer's market for men. It's
Mhm.
it's 2 million more black women than black men. 1 out of 3 black men are getting arrested from 18 to 40. Then from that, the number one killer for black men is gun violence. So it
Mhm.
messes up the social economics. Then from what we got men that are LBGTQ, so they're out the game. We got men that date outside a race, they outside the game. So if you're a man that's like, yo, I'm pro black, like, yo, you should be, what do you want? You want light skin, you want dark skin, you want Caribbean, you want African, what do you want? So if you can't find a woman, like what are you doing?
Right.
So, and some men say, oh, well, I'm dating, I'm seeing what's out there. Okay, see what's out there. I agree, but you just know you taking the risk of STDs, unwanted pregnancies, mentally unstable women. I had a fatal attraction of a woman that got arrested 6 times. And then
Damn.
yeah, and then there's a famous rapper named Mo3 out here in Dallas, Texas, who died because he was sleeping with somebody's baby mama. There's a famous rapper in Atlanta named Trouble who died because he was sleeping with some guy's girlfriend or ex-wife, whatever, and they ran up in you. So you can take this risk of being single and being a bachelor, but that's a big risk of you might catch something and you might not be able to. It's going to limit your opportunities. So,
Absolutely.
I recommend for men to, like, yeah, date. Don't mean you gotta be sleeping with all of them, but date. Figure out who's gonna give you the best bang for your where you're at in life, mentally, financially, spiritually, whatever that's a priority. If you're a family orientated man, you need to be searching for a woman that has family values. If you're a sapiosexual, you need to be finding that. So it's a lot of synergy here, and I'm calling BS on a lot of men that's talking a lot of game. If if you're not in a relationship, I got to see some type of, I got to be able to measure you. And if you're prosperity preaching, that's the best thing to be in if you can make that pop. Because you can't nobody call you out. I can just say you're not working hard enough. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, I talk to brothers all the time, that are single and in this whole, dating scene or whatever. And all of them have said they have met amazing women, and they always come up with some crazy ass excuse not to actually take the woman seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of men out here, I guess, that are really scared of commitment, and for good reason too, because a lot of men have been hurt. You know what I'm saying?
I
There's
don't
just
know if that's a good reason though. That's
what?
that's
for
like,
being hurt.
yeah, like that's self work right there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. But what I'm saying is like, okay, so we probably all went through hurt in a relationship.
Mhm.
Hurt by a woman is on another level pain. Like I'll give you an example. Like I was hurt by my ex, and I think I lost 70 pounds. Dog, when I say for weeks, I couldn't eat, brothers. I
Well,
couldn't eat. I couldn't eat nothing but lettuce.
You're
I
listening.
couldn't eat no meat. I couldn't eat no meats and nothing, no sweets, no Debbie cakes, no soda.
Oh,
I couldn't eat nothing but lettuce and water, bro, because you know when you put your love into a woman, you put everything into her, like for
my man
real.
went on
So,
the Atkins diet, like,
bro, it wasn't no choice of mine, bro. I couldn't eat shit. You know what I'm saying? So for some men who put that much love into a woman, like I love the shit out of my wife. You know what I'm saying? So if she ever did something crazy to me, I would collapse like that again. That shit is horrible, man. To the point where you can't sleep. That song, I can't sleep, baby,
oh my god,
without you in my head. I can't go on, baby. You know that song right there, bro. That song tells you what it is to be a man and how it feels when you get your heart broken by a woman, bro. That shit is real. And a lot of men don't want to go through that shit again. That shit is painful. It's horrible.
Yeah, so I'm
It's
like,
the worst pain. It's the worst pain that you experience. For real.
hey, you know what, Cavi? I've been having men. My Facebook page been popping lately. I ain't making no money from it, so it really don't matter. But
Right.
my engagement has increased.
Okay.
And a lot of men are just like, oh man, you know, women hold on to trauma, and that's why I don't want a woman my age. And it's like, dude, you're divorced, you are on child support, you know, you're hurt, and now
Right.
you're talking about single mothers because you're a single father. You know what I'm saying? Would you still have this mindset about single mothers if you was married?
Mm-mm.
No, you would not. But you
no,
went through some type of trauma to be triggering you. So
Right.
it's single mothers with absentee fathers, and you're a single father raised by a single mother. And so I don't like, then you question me because I'm a bonus dad, I'm a stepdad, a proud stepdad. And you're like, what if she doesn't like you? And it's like, what if your own child don't like you though? And
Yeah,
think
that
about it.
happens. That
Yeah,
happens.
it does.
Yeah.
So
it ain't no guarantee.
Hell no.
it's no guarantees.
And in most cases, most of those guys, I would argue, they feel some kind of way if their dad even like them,
Right.
because most of those guys that are single fathers are raised by single mothers too.
Yes. So I'm just like, I'm trying to grasp it, but now I'm like, what it
I'm only
does
talking about the people that fit the behavior before any one of y'all that want to reenact Tupac or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Want to jump up and down. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, get out of my, if you're gonna get in my comments, make sure you were ready to get on camera too. I want the smoke.
Mm-hmm. I got
Continue.
you.
yeah, I got on camera, and you know, I just let dude talk, but it's like he's still a young man that has development to do. You know, it's like, yeah, you're doing good in business, bro. Salute you. But you know how we measure things over here is commitment, and you're not in a committed relationship. So you're speaking about single mothers, and this is in regards to this live stream I got on yesterday. And he was like, well, you seem like you expect men to date single mothers. No, I never said that. Whatever your preference is, your preference. What I'm saying is you're hypocritical and you're living a double standard because you're a single father that has custody of your kids.
There you
And
go.
even if,
You know what,
you
Eugene? Something just hit me when you said that. I've been trying to figure out why they care so much about it. And it's truly an example of a transactional mindset. You know what I'm saying? They want to obviously get something for the effort. You know what I'm saying? The whole table conversation. What do you bring to the table? You know, basically seeing what kind of pieces you got to negotiate with, right?
Right.
And those people, I would say, are operating from scarcity and hurt. You know what I'm saying? Most likely.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And it's
and-
funny because he
and-
keeps saying abundance. It's like, what is
yeah,
abundant?
yeah. Like so. Regardless of what they say, I'm talking about just the behavior. See, when your behavior is consistent, there's certain things that we don't have to discuss. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because through repetition, what you actually do is discussed more than the things that you don't like. Would you agree with that?
Right.
It'll be like, I don't like cutting the grass, so I pay somebody else to cut the grass.
Mm-hmm.
But if every time I talk to Cavi or Eugene, I'm complaining about the grass needing to be cut, then it'll be like, hey, why don't you just solve the problem? You care more about complaining about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right. So, and I this the whole time you was talking, I was trying to figure out which pocket to put that conversation in, and it just came out as just really just being transactional, quid pro quo, and the number one thing that's missing from that is empathy, not love, empathy.
Right.
There's no empathy in that type of conversation. There's no concern for the well-being of the other person. Notice I'm not talking about love, because the minute that you start talking about that, you start hearing simp this, simp that, and as a married man, that don't even apply to the men that's on this particular panel. You know what I'm saying? Because we are in a committed relationship with our significant others, you know what I'm saying, our wives. So we're not doing anything to pander to the women that we already married to, you know what I'm saying? But when you're listening to the complaints are coming from, the same thing that you would be complaining about if something was priced too high or unfairly priced. So if it's unfairly priced, then you're having a transactional conversation anyway, right?
Yeah. So that's why I said I encourage men to date, just to piggyback off what you said, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's like, hey, if the price is too high, did you know like Temu exists and Amazon? I done got some really good products from Temu.
Yeah, Etsy out there.
Yeah.
eBay.
Hey, yeah. You can hit the internet. So, you can really price match if this is a little too high.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with the supply and demand right now, no man should be single.
Yeah.
If he wants a relationship,
if he wants a relationship.
Yeah,
exactly. So if you choosing to be single, I get that. This is not the conversation.
And here's the other thing too. If you single by choice, stop complaining.
You're right. There's no need for you to complain.
Like if you're single by choice, you should be happy with just being single. So that means you should have no more input.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot, don't it?
Yeah. Exactly. Because it's weird, because people have to take ownership of their relationship status and break up with the idea that's in their old expectations.
No, the people that are single who are actually complaining so much, men and women, are unhappy because they're single.
Yeah,
they are completely unhappy being single. They can lie to themselves all they want.
They can lie all they want to.
Yeah.
But like, for instance, like everybody got an artist that everybody else likes that you don't like, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
You might think they absolute garbage. Do you talk about what's absolutely garbage?
Mm-hmm.
I don't bring no mention to it.
No, I
don't give it no publicity.
What I
don't
like
about nothing I don't like.
Yeah. I don't give it no attention.
No airtime.
No. So like I said, there's so many people out here that's lying to themselves, you know what I'm saying? And making up any type of excuse to say, well, this is the reason why I'm single, because I can't find this and I can't find that.
Cavi, I've been coming for their neck on my page, bro.
I'm glad you have, because it's time. Yeah. That red pill shit is out the fucking door, bro. It's in the goddamn way, for real.
Yeah, I was like, hey, dude, y'all took the wrong pill. Yeah. So the Matrix is about taking the right pill.
Right. And that ain't even a red pill. That's an orange pill or something.
Yeah. So
they on a perk 30.
Right.
Yeah. For real.
Right. And it's all about being happy, man. And that's the thing. Like, Like, do we want to be happy? Let's
Kevin,
be
I
happy
don't
out
think they
here.
want to. I think they really secretly don't want to see other men happy. Like, dude, you could be happy too, bro. You
Yeah.
can.
There's a woman out here for you. For those who are listening, there's a woman out here for you, man. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to settle.
If
Like,
you want a woman.
yeah, right.
If you want a woman. Hey, Vic, that's so true, bro. Because I got a brother that's been following my page, and it's like, bro, we've been Facebook friends a long time. You're in all of the spaces, and I really wonder why you even on my page because I never seen you with a woman, bro. So at this point, you only got your mother on your page and other men. So now I'm really questioning your sexuality and what are you telling us without telling us?
Right. Yeah.
Because you're in a relationship. My page is relationship orientated. It's about dating, marriage, courting, relationships. It's like 95%. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, bro, you're gonna have to show me some work. And then I'm gonna come for you when you saying I don't know what I'm talking about. Because I'm married and you're not. You're not in a relationship. I'm in a relationship and you're not. When I was single, I used to post the women on my page. Do you think that got me less women or do you think it got me more women?
Probably got you more women.
It got me more women, bro.
Yep. Probably got you more women.
Man, I remember this chick hit me up from my page, man. Man, if you lived in the same city as me, man, I have to wife you up. And I was like, where you at? Like, whoop.
I'm coming.
Bro, what in the car over in an hour, under an hour, took a shower, came through, and I didn't. She already know what I'm about.
Right.
And this was nothing. I always tell men like your page is actually your biggest pipeline. Because this is somebody that's following you, actively engaging with you. I started recruiting from my page, and that's how I met my wife, was from my personal page. It wasn't even from online dating. So she got to really see who I was and know, and that's how I really liked it. But yeah, man, I've been calling them out because I'm like, hey man, you're angry, bro. Right now it's Friday night. Well, not today, but last week I had a guy trolling me Friday night, 58 years old. And I was like, hey, when I was single, bro, I wasn't trolling another man at 10:30, 11 o'clock. So I got to question you too, bro. Then you wake up in the morning, you're trolling me again. So I got a question: do you like me?
Yeah.
Why are you trolling me at Friday night? Because I can tell you, when I was single on a Friday night, I was in some.
Right.
So a lot of these dudes, man, I'm really doing it like from what Victor said. It's really from empathy. I really have compassion for you. I really have understanding for you. And I'm really trying to show you that the supply and demand is something wrong with you. It ain't nothing wrong with the women.
It's plenty of women. Yeah, it's plenty of women.
These women will take a piece of man.
No. So last event me and my wife went to, which we always have good times going out and chilling and everything. Last event that we went to, that was a really nice event, thrown by a woman named Connie Mills here in Roanoke. And her joints attract women, boatloads of women. And when I say I stood there, me and my wife, we counted how many women it was to men. It had to be 20-1. Had to be. And you talking about you can't find no motherfucking dope ass woman out here, and the ratio for that one party that had a lot of people there was like 20-1, and you can't find no woman.
All you have to do is show up.
That's it. That's it.
As long as you ain't no weirdo, show up.
Right. Don't be that. Yeah, you can't be no geek ass weirdo because women ain't into that. So we get that. You know what I'm saying?
And I tell men, man, less is more. Just don't say nothing, man. Smile, look good, have your cologne. Keep the conversation short. Keep it on the woman. Let her talk. Every woman loves the voice of her voice.
And
And it's
just,
so
just
true. Yeah.
yeah,
They like to hear themselves talk. Like women.
yeah. And
Yeah.
all you got to do is just smile and like, yeah,
Make them
right,
laugh. Make them laugh
yeah,
a little bit if you can.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm
You
saying?
know,
Yeah.
if you could throw a little humor in there subtly, and and it's a casual encounter at the end of the night, and y'all both had a good time. Nobody's judging each other, and it's like, it's good. And it's like, hey, I don't want, you're gonna judge me, and like, yeah, I feel the same way. I don't want you to judge me too. I don't want you to think I'm easy, and then they get
Man,
to
bro.
laughing.
So my boy, he went to one of these little speed dating things, and he said, man, when I went to that, he's down in Charlotte. He said, man, when I went to that thing, bro, he said it had to be about maybe 100 people up in there. He said, but probably about 90 of them were women. It was only like 10 of us dudes was in there. And I was like, damn, yo.
I
But
was
he had a great time, and the other
right,
men that he was with had a great time.
right.
But he was like, he just started looking around, and the women had sad faces and stuff like that. Like, damn, where the men at? Like, I know women got to be thinking to themselves, God damn, what the hell do we do to the point where y'all don't even want to engage with us no more? Is beating your dick that wonderful? That and playing 2K?
Man,
You know what I'm saying? Like, to the
I'm
point where you can't come out here and engage with a woman in real life. That's crazy.
yeah. But I'm gonna tell you, the good ones are married, bro. So they have to accept that. So this is what happens in the 40 and up club, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your reality is going to have to match your expectations. Like, yeah,
Expectation management.
yeah.
Like I talk about expectation management all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
It's funny you brought up Charlotte, Cavi, because I told I got a buddy, man. I've been trying to mentor him online, and I was like, yo, it's gonna have to be Charlotte for you, Atlanta or Houston.
Oh, absolutely.
You're in New York, bro.
Yeah.
I don't really think that's a good dating culture.
Mm.
And if you come down here to the South, man, these women are,
It's different.
yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully it makes the move. But I said, if you really want family, bro, you're gonna have to relocate, bro.
My boy Tyrone, man, he like I said, he's down in Charlotte. Any event that he goes to down there, he says the same thing over and over. He says it's just the ratio of women to men is ridiculous, bro. So it's like I said, I don't get what and I'm talking about pretty women. You know, when I talk about the parties that my people's kind of throw here in Roanoke, we're talking about pretty women. Like, these women are 40 and probably got 18-year-olds as kids. You know what I'm saying?
That's the other thing too. Like,
get ready to get out the house.
Get out the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, for men that don't want kids, that's probably an ideal situation.
Yeah.
I think people have the right idea, but in the wrong time in their life.
Right.
Which is why I say it's expectation management. There's nothing wrong with wanting someone that's single and childless, whether you're a man or a woman. Mm-hmm. But if you're a man, generally speaking, most of those guys, they're gonna wait until their kids are of age and out the way. Because I got a couple of guys that are friends of mine. Like one of them, he waited till he was 64, and then he had another, but he's in great shape. He takes good care of himself. You know what I'm saying? He waited till he was 64, and then he had another kid. And now he gives all of his genius to his young, to his youngest daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So granted that if he takes care of himself and everything goes well, he'll live long enough to see her becoming an adult. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the women on the other side of that, if they've already had their kids and they meet a guy whose kids are already grown or doesn't want kids, like me and Eugene, their kids are grown. They're out the door. You know what I'm saying? So we get to benefit from, experience that they've already had. You know what I'm saying? There's a trade-off. They get to benefit from experience that we already had.
Mm-hmm.
They should know how to vet a little bit better.
Yeah. That's like I said. I don't understand it. Like I said, if you're dating a woman that's 40, 45 years old and she still has a kid, the likelihood of her not having a kid that is already pretty much self-sufficient, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? 15, 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
At that point, it's downhill. You know, my 16-year-old boy,
Now, now
I'm
she's
not feeding
45.
him anymore. I'm putting
Yeah.
groceries in the damn refrigerator, but he's feeding himself. I'm
Yeah.
not clothing him anymore. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, in what, 3 more months, I'm not gonna be driving him anymore. He got his own car. He gonna be
Yeah.
driving himself. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like most women who are in their 40s or 50, 40, 45, they have kids that are self-sufficient. You don't have to
Now,
worry about doing
now,
anything.
unless you got like a single digit age kid, you know what I'm saying?
Now that's different. Now that's
You got a
different.
17-year-old and a 3-year-old. That's kind of crazy to me.
That's different. That's different. Well, thank you for calling my situation crazy. You know, because you know I got a 16. I got a 16 and a 4.
Hey, but that's your baby. I'm talking
Right,
about
right,
like
right.
if you would have met her and she had those 2 kids by
Oh
herself.
no, I wouldn't have did
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, like,
that.
that's when it's crazy. Oh no.
Right. I wouldn't have did that. No.
Yeah, I got 2 kids. Okay, cool. How old are they? 18. That ain't bad.
Mhm.
And 3. What?
Oh shit.
What was you doing?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so because if the shoe was on the other foot, if it's a guy, and let's just say again, going back to you have a daughter,
Mhm.
she meets a man. She says, Dad, I want to meet him. You talk to him, and you realize he's a little bit older. Okay, I'm still going to give him the benefit of the doubt because if he's respectful or whatever, right?
Right. Mhm.
He tell you his oldest kid is whatever age, right?
Mhm.
And he grown independent of his dad and his mom, can do for himself.
Right.
That's a success story, right?
Right.
And then after that, he says, well, I got another one too. And you say, how old? He says 3. What the hell?
No.
See?
No.
He 32.
Right.
30,
right.
somewhere between whatever age he is. Let's say his first kid he had young. You know what I'm saying? He
Right.
might have been 16, 17. So that makes sense. That because that happens, right? It's realistic and understandable. But then
Yeah.
then he turns around and he makes another one.
Yeah.
And then now he got a baby,
Yeah.
still a toddler, and he looking at marrying your daughter to do what? Help raise the toddler?
Yeah. Pretty much. No, not happening.
That's crazy.
Not happening. And for the men who find women out here that have kids, I'm gonna be honest with you. Being it, I'm experienced in it. You know, after 7, man, it's kind of downhill from there. Everything's fun as shit. You know what I'm saying? You'll enjoy yourself having a child from seven on up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I didn't enjoy, you know, from birth to now, because from birth to 4, where my daughter is right now, that shit's funny. You know what I'm saying? You see a lot of hilarious shit in between now. Now, yeah, you got those sleepless nights, you know, to where she don't want to sleep because she's an infant, you know, and then, you know, up to about 3, that's when they start sleeping, you know, the way that they're supposed to sleep. Now at 4, now it's just a good time. You know what I'm saying? 5, it comes even better. 6, even better. 7, like I said, man, that kid popping shit in the damn oven and eating it by themselves and doing all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
I encourage men, if you are going to date a woman with kids, man, somewhere between 6 and 7, you know, you'll enjoy that child right there because they're fun to be around. Now, don't get me wrong. If you mess around and get with a woman that completely has a complete dickhead as a kid, no, you know,
right.
you have to gauge that too. You know, I would never have dated anyone who had a kid with discipline issues. No,
Right.
hell
Yeah.
no.
Yep. See, you using both sides of your brain, brother, because I don't know what these guys be talking about. I said, you know, it's behavior. That's
Right.
what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Like my not to say too much, but you know, she meant straight A student, excellent behavior,
Mm-hmm.
STEM,
There
and
you go.
skip 2 levels in cheer.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, you can't ask for her.
Can't ask for nothing better.
Yeah, you know. So I'm like, I don't know what y'all guys are doing, but it seems like y'all have no discernment.
Mm-mm.
And is your little head thinking for you at 40, bro?
Yeah, I think that's what the case is, because they think single mother, oh, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? And it's not. You know, it's the same things that you're going to go through, whether she have a kid or not. You know, the same ups
Yeah,
and downs. You
yeah,
know.
exactly. And so then I had to break it down. They like, oh well, single mothers, they file for divorce at whatever. Like, well, technically, men don't file for divorce.
Right.
Traditionally, they don't.
No, we don't.
So, you think because you got the woman that you could just do whatever. And I said, look, if she filed for the divorce, that's just life, and it's better to be married than be out here. You out here with 20, 50 different people. This is somebody who was married and went through a divorce. I think I like somebody that was married to somebody and they divorced in 10 years versus somebody that was 10 years and had a rotation for 10 years and she got
Yeah.
100 bodies underneath her versus this one. So
Yeah.
why are you so judgmental off of a single mother who's divorced versus what do you think this woman's been doing for the past 10 years?
There you go. There you go.
Let me say this though. Let me say this though. I draw a distinction between a single mother and a woman that was divorced that became a single mother through divorce. You know, one has an opportunity to be better in a relationship than the other. And generally speaking, the woman that's been divorced is probably going to have better opportunities at another relationship than a woman that was never married, that was also a single mother. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. So, you're using this, both sides of the brain because I'm like, man, I certain things, man, I just don't understand. It's like y'all are just as delusional, not saying you, but
Yeah, I get
it's
you.
like, yeah, if she was good enough to be married, she's gonna be good enough to be married again. If she was good enough to give you a child, she'd be good enough to have a child by somebody else. And that's the reality of it. So if the young brother was like, oh, she was married and divorced. I'm like, okay, so what about somebody that's single and they've been single for 10 years? Do you really think that you're just so special?
Yeah, come on. Like being single for 10 years is a disqualifier too. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of cases.
I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
Hey,
because why you been single for 10 years?
right.
Like
You wasn't in no long-term relationship.
you weren't relationship material for nobody else in 10 years. That's
Yeah,
that's
so
that's kind of peculiar to me.
yeah. So when you really think about it, it's like this is people that get married and remarried, divorced and remarried. I'll rather, look through that lens and let's say, you know what, that's still better than somebody that's been single for the whole. So you saying from 18 to 36
A
for like,
decade.
yeah,
A decade.
what have you been doing? There's no relationship nowhere.
Like
You're really saying more about yourself than what you're saying about anybody else, to be honest with you.
for real. Like, because a decade with no quality relationship to show for it says
Trouble.
that's a bigger red flag than anything. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we
Yeah.
should change this to the Married Men podcast, man.
Hey, look, when I came up with accountable masculinity, it was about men showing leadership in the tough areas, of discussion, right?
Yeah.
And generally speaking, you have to be able to lead your household in order, you know what I'm saying, in order to be qualified to lead other people in most cases,
Right.
And I like the fact that Eugene has said a couple times using both sides of your brain. And the other side of your brain is thinking for the other person that you're in a relationship with,
Absolutely.
So when you listen to people talk about these expectations of a relationship with the opposite sex, they're really revealing that the options that they do have been transactional at best and not worth investing in, been short-term fulfillment relationships. And so people are basing the value of the other person, whether it be man or woman, they're basing it off their individual interaction, not the whole of what a community is supposed to look like. So there's community-minded men and women, and then there's individualistic men and women. And the community-minded men and women are generally going to have a higher degree of sexual discipline, empathy, and accountability, the intangibles that go with recognizing that you have to give people grace and give them time to change and respect their experience, all of that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Different type of discernment than in the individualistic community, where everybody is transactional for the most part. There's a lot of they have a different code of ethics when it comes down to sexual discipline,
Right.
because their rules are different. You know what I'm saying? From this side, I would say that they're sexually undisciplined. And from their side, they may call it something else. You know what I'm saying, for us. But I'm drawing a distinction between the two simply because some people, that there's a matriarchal demographic to our community where if we talk about single mothers so much, that's because if single mothers are the topic of discussion, you know what I'm saying, but across so many men's conversations and platforms, that means that there's a community of single mothers, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's significant enough to talk about across various platforms. Okay, that demographic of men and women that come from a single mother household are matriarchal. The patriarchal men have a different degree of empathy because they were either raised with by married parents or seeing their mothers and fathers in healthy relationships. They probably got sisters too, or not. I didn't have any sisters, you know. But I did grow up in a two-parent home, you know what I'm saying, where both my mom and dad were active and available, and you know what I'm saying, they provided a healthy household for us to grow up in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And recognizing that you've had that experience and realizing that as we've gotten older, a lot of people didn't, is the most important thing for all of us to recognize. That's why like this friction about this topic hits so different. You know, some of them are going to take it a lot more personally than others. I'm just looking at it from how do we get to the next step? You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, in regards to getting to the next step, is it's going to be education and awareness. That's just my perspective on it and my assessment. And that's what brought me to empathy, even with my own wife. And you know, I really understand, like, yeah, dang, it is when you really do the math, it's like, dang, it is only 3 out of 10 black men that's in the household statistically. But 7 out of 10 black men that's not in the household. So,
and those men that when we broke that down that night, Cavi, those men that are not in the household are generally raised in a household where their fathers weren't present.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. So it's like, how did we get here? But then once you get the information, it's either you're going to be greedy or you're going to be empathetic. Because greed is like, you know, I got the pick of the litter and I can do what I want to do.
It's true. There's bodies everywhere if you want to catch them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because, you know, when I was single, I was very arrogant. Hey, you're going to have to share me, you know. That's just what it is. And if you're a traveling nurse or anything, I'm not waiting on you. If you're a hairstylist, I'm not waiting on you. I'm not waiting on nothing. I'm single and I ain't got no kids. And I'm working and I'm able to provide for myself. But once again, like I said, that's still risky, right? You're still dealing with people. I mean, it's so
STDs.
Yeah, STDs, unwanted pregnancies, mental illness, mentally unstable women, and women that got baby daddies and ex-husbands. You know what I'm saying? That still stalking their social media page 6 months now. So you got to really be mindful about what
you're
what you're putting out there. But I really found You know, some women that are single, you know, they're really are trying to learn from men like us, what to look for, what type of character traits. And it's good because I'm married, I'm off the market, so I can give it to you straight. I'm not trying to sleep with you. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah, you know, so I can honestly look at you and say, hey, um, if a man says he wants cheese pizza, he wants cheese pizza. Now you can try to slice and dice this all you want, but you are not really understanding how men are. You want somebody to understand you. And if once my audience is starting to understand the reality versus the expectations, but I realize what my battle is actually coming more, Victor and Cavi, has been more against men.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it's like I'm not going to let you say a woman is not qualified. That's not the case. If there's 10 houses and there's 100 people applying for the house, and in the utopia spectrum, why did the other 90 people not get qualified for the house? And they're all qualified. They all meet the income requirement. They all got the credit score. Why did they not get the 10 houses?
Mm-hmm.
So this is coming from a supply and demand and social economic thing. And it's not me simping. I'm not simping. Maybe she has an attitude because she's out here doing everything by herself and there's no empathy. Maybe she has an attitude because she did everything right and she had an abusive alcoholic husband. So I'm really approaching these conversations from a sense of compassion and empathy without trauma bonding. And I can honestly say, man, I was out here, I'm getting back in real estate. You know, the market is leveled out now. And, you know, I saw a woman walk in with a cane. And I was like, man, this lady is looked like she needed a ride. I gave her a ride. She told me she have MS. It was a short destination, and I gave her some teas, recommendations. I didn't buy her no teas, and I went about my journey. But understanding the social economic historical context also is still historical of what we went through. It'll make you more empathetic towards your people, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
If you care about community.
Right.
Yeah,
If
if
you
you
care
care
about it.
about,
Yeah.
yeah, and like, and I told the guy, he was asking me what's the solution, and at the end of the day, like I said, it's education and awareness. And I said, but when you break it down, bro, if you taking care of your family, man, that's good enough, bro.
That's it. Starts from that. It starts from there. Strong family. Strong family. That's where the root starts. And
Yeah,
people don't
because
understand that.
if you ain't got your Maslow hierarchy and got your
No.
family situation taken care of, you don't really need to be
I
worried about.
look, I tell people all the time, you know, if you want to see a people with a sense of power right now who are doing big things, look no further than the Hispanics and look what their foundation is. Their foundation is family. Family and community. That is
Wealth
their
is at the
foundation.
wealth is at the seat. Family and community are at the seat of wealth.
Or at the seat of wealth. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
So
you know, to try to get it without that, yeah, it's just not gonna work.
it's individualistic, at best. I'm gonna play a video right now to, what I'm saying, to let you guys um, be reminded of why it's great that you are in healthy, committed relationships with one woman.
Disclosure is my choice. I'm HIV positive, right? And this is just a PSA to those that are not HIV positive. Disclosure is my choice. When I disclose and how I disclose and who I disclose to is up to me. I find it so crazy how people are telling me that I need to disclose before I go on a date, that I need to disclose before I kiss somebody. This is the craziest one. Before I even tell them my name. It's not happening. I don't think that it's my responsibility to tell someone that I'm HIV positive if they are treating me as if I'm not. Your health is your responsibility. Adopt the mindset of medical practitioners. Assume that everyone has something until they prove to you that they do not. Why are you kissing a stranger or trying to kiss a stranger that you just met? Why are you trying to have intercourse with someone raw that you just met? You don't know me from a hole in a wall. Why are you trying to put your thing inside of me without any kind of protection? Why do I have to be the one to say, hey, chill out, I'm HIV positive, instead of you asking, taking the time to know me, get to know me, let's go get tested together if you want to take the next step. Why do I have to be the one protecting you from yourself? No, baby, that is not my responsibility. And I just wanted to make that clear. Okay, love you, bye.
Be real. That can't be real. That can't be real. The thing about social media is sometimes people will, but in her case, I can't see her just doing that for clicks and likes, and because once you're known as a person who has HIV, you're known as a person who's got HIV. So so her talking point was kind of stupid, because you say, why do I have to let you know that I got HIV? You just let the world know that you're HIV positive.
Right.
You just let everybody know that you're HIV positive. So what the fuck was the point?
Hey, dudes, if you recognize that face, go ahead and get that test.
Well, she's right about something. Now, don't get me wrong. That's something that, yeah, you need to be careful. You know what I'm saying? When you're out here, and she's an attractive woman.
Very.
So the thing is that she's very attractive. She doesn't look sickly. So the thing is that it's quite possible that a man will run up in that thing raw, but I'm not understanding how she can't say that, well, I shouldn't have to tell you before you run up in here raw. So
She should be dating in the HIV community. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They got that too. Yes, HIV community and herpes community too.
That's what I'm saying. There's a community for everything that you can relate to.
Absolutely.
So if you need to go where people are going to welcome you, they're going to say, you need to go where people will say, oh, HIV, that's not a problem.
You know what? We can solve a whole lot of these issues that we have in this world if people just follow those communities. Like, you got a community of people who just want to have sex. Stay in that pool.
Stay over there. Because I'm fascinated, because I learn stuff every time I see. I'm like, oh, it's really. Look, when people be talking about live your truth, that's usually like code language for you to come out of the closet, right?
Yeah.
Right.
People need to live their truth if they got an STD too.
Absolutely.
If they got an STD, you can live your truth also. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, man. When I was single and dating, man, I had some women say, hey, HSV too, and then you look at the profile, you Google it. Oh, okay. I appreciate you being honest.
What did you say?
HSV too.
HSV too. That's herpes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I just,
Okay, Eugene, you're talking to a person that's had 2 sexual partners in his life, so not familiar. Like
okay, I see why you're so heartbroken over that first one.
Absolutely. Now you see. Hey,
I'm gonna pour another one for you right there. See, and you know what though? That's another tier of honesty with that too, because that gives me a lot of clarity on why you have the opinions that you have too. Yeah. Like as a man has had quite a few sexual partners. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've maintained my autonomy, throughout every adventure I've had. So you get experience in like being betrayed, you know what I'm saying, and hurt. But like that first one that you experience, or that second one it's the one that you experience when you just knew, right?
Right.
Then there's one that you experience when you thought you really got it right.
Right.
And then after that, it's like you start seeing the flags, and then you're like, hey, you want to get off the train? You can get off the train, baby. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it takes a certain level of personal accomplishment to recognize when you don't have to overcommit to somebody else's emotions.
Right.
When you can tell it's them, you know what I'm saying, and it ain't you. Then you say, oh, hey, cool. You can go ahead and get off.
Right. I got you.
Because some of those people think, from a man's perspective, it's a lot of women that think that they're actually leading the relationship, and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's just you. Somebody's giving room for your ego to be heard, but it don't control nothing.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
That's
Absolutely.
that's where me and Victor, man, we got into that provider male thing. Like, you feeding your ego, bro, but you
Yeah.
ain't put no ring on it, bro.
You tricking.
I
Yeah,
never looked at that like that until you guys started talking about that, because I was like, you're right.
Yeah.
You're not
Like,
committed to anything. What the fuck are you providing?
yeah, like
Yeah, it's
cut it
pointless.
out. Cut it
Yeah.
out, man. You tricking.
Absolutely.
And look, and the only men that's talking about that, saying that they advertising that they are provider and they're not a husband, you a trick.
yeah, and look, and that's why Kevin Samuels, R.I.P. the Godfather.
Let me zoom in. Hang on.
You gonna zoom in?
If you ain't a husband, you a trick. You're not a father, you a trick.
Yeah.
I mean that.
Mm.
Like, what else? Because like people throwing around words that devalue what the word actually means.
Right.
So like now it's all convoluted. Like last night, I had my first session talking to the students over at the college campus that I got a chance to go, actually start mentoring.
Right.
And I wanted to kind of like be able to relate to someone that's 25 years younger than me. You know what I'm saying? And I asked him to define toxic because it's a buzzword now, right? And the reason it is a buzzword because people use it when they can't really define what the real behavior is associated with the word.
Right.
People don't have a definition, they have an interpretation of what toxic is.
Right.
And the one word that one of the students said that I'm bringing to this conversation now was that it was counterproductive and counterintuitive to cohesion. That was the best definition. Counterproductive and counterintuitive to cohesion.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that.
Like, and that's the point. It's like when you're looking at the way we interact with one another, we're getting plenty of signs that we're not compatible, but we don't recognize that we're not compatible. We make concessions because we've already seen this behavior in our own family. So it's not uncommon and it's familiar, but that's exactly why you need to get away from it.
Yeah.
If it's so familiar and it feels like home, you probably are with somebody that is reflecting something that you're very familiar with, and it may not necessarily be a bad thing, but you need to pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? Because it could be good, it can go bad. I'm not saying get away from it, cancel the trip, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might have to go out of town with somebody to really see who they are.
Yeah, that's true, man. Now I hopped on this dude little red pill thing, and it's you haven't been through the season. Said 2 years is 8 seasons. So I don't know how long that you think a car dealership is going to keep letting you test drive the car, but you went there to test drive the car and make a decision and make a commitment, and that's life. Mm-hmm. And if you keep thinking that you could keep test driving the car with no commitments,
come on, man. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? You're delusional.
Yeah. Right. Shout out to Dedrick. He said they get a bit too comfortable with the dysfunction because it's familiar.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Chaos is oxygen for some people, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's speaking 100% truth with that, bro. He's speaking 100% truth with that, man. Comfortable with dysfunction because it is familiar, and it's familiar to so many people. You know what I'm saying? They haven't seen a relationship or a marriage that wasn't dysfunctional. They have not seen
that. They haven't seen
it. Right.
So just like the original caption of tonight's conversation is like, take ownership of your relationship status and break up with the expectations that, you know what I'm saying, that are in your head pretty much. Mm-hmm. That's the definition. That's the unpacked context of being delusional.
Right.
You are
Absolutely.
running around here looking for somebody that fits what you think is true. And it's just this is the essence of what trauma bonding is based off of.
Yeah, man.
You comfortable with dysfunction, you trauma bonded with whoever you with.
Exactly, man. I'm so blessed and happy and grateful that I have surrounded myself around some really great men. Because like where I'm at now, I don't care to really know people. Like I'm gonna help because that's where I'm at, and I'm gonna go about my business. I don't want to talk to you. I don't really care about what's going on. If I'm doing a community based program or if I'm just feeling generous to be compassionate, that's it. I don't no more. I used to have some type of expectation of reciprocity, and that's more like a business mindset or
Transactional.
yeah. But
Right.
where I'm at now is like I'm gonna do something because that's what's on my heart right now is to give back so we can help people with this dysfunction because it's not right. It's not familiar. It should not. Toxicity, dysfunction, all of these stuff is not familiar. And that's what I was also telling these red pill people, like, hey, the woman filed for divorce. I have not met a woman that says she got married with the intention to get divorced. I've never met no man or no woman actually, but women are the ones filing the divorce. Why? Because if he falls underneath these categories such as alcoholic, mental illness, abusive, criminal behavior, just anything that's going to be toxic to her or the child, she's going to have to make. Once a child gets here, you have to think about this offspring, and women have more of that maternal instinct than men.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I don't disagree with that at all.
yeah. So I'm like the
And for the people to say, well, not in all cases. Oh, okay, we're talking about most cases, people.
Yeah, I'm talking about most.
So let's
Yeah.
bury
Yeah.
let's
I
bury
hate
that.
I hate it. Cavi, I'm so glad that you're on the show to clean that up, man. Like I don't want to hear not all. Ain't nobody talking about
Not
absolute.
not all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up, suckers. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
they no different than the women, bro. Because I'm telling you, as I've been going in on them lately, and it's not directly, right? It's just like, hey, Corey Holcomb's he said it like, hey, I like broke women because I can control them. I've been saying that.
Yeah.
He's a provider, Mel. It ain't because of love and compassion and endearment. He's doing it so he can control.
Right.
And here he comes. Oh, and then you don't like a college educated woman. Why? Because she has a brain. She's not going to let you tell her the sky is blue. I mean, not blue. The sky is purple and it's blue. She's not going to let you do that. She's going to have questions. But with me being in a small business owner and being in sales, I'm so used to people asking me questions. I'm used to people objecting. So I don't take that as being masculine from a woman. This is a woman that's like, hey, I'm confused here. You're going to have to explain this to me.
Yo, I like how you put that, Eugene. I love how you put that because being in sales, yeah, you get a lot of objections. You know what I'm saying? And you don't take that as a woman being masculine. See, you and I kind of come from that same, when it comes to insurance, you're going to get a whole lot of rejections, when you're selling insurance. So at the end of the day, like, you're not taking it as a masculine behavior. You're like, okay, you have to convince me. All right, well, let me convince you. You know what I'm saying? Let me convince you that your coverage is shit and you're not, properly covered because
you gotta have some game.
Right. Insurance is risk management. So at the end of the day, this is what you're worth. And this is the coverage that you have because you want to save money, and that's not going to cover your ass. So, I mean, let's go ahead and write this new shit up and let me say your mind. So yeah, at the end of the day, you have to have some game. You have to be able to convince a person that you're worth, what you're saying you're worth. So I agree with you, Eugene, completely when it comes to that, man. That's dope that you actually put that together like that.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. It's a lot of synergies in regards to business and real estate or sales, and it's like it's not masculine because he has a question, bro.
Right. It's not. I just realized that you were with your wife right there in that picture. You have a gorgeous wife, my man.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
That's why I'm just like, yo, show your work, brother. You know what I'm saying? So why are so many people giving off trying to talk game and talk this and talk that? Everything is pseudo until you are in a relationship.
Prosperity preaching. It's
It's
prosperity
Eddie Long shit.
Look, Eddie Long shit.
Yeah.
Let me read this real quick, man. You know what I'm saying? Like while we talking about this while you was over there spitting your game, you know what I'm saying? I was digging up one of my old posts, and I said, prosperity preaching comes in many forms. It is not limited to church, mosque, or any physical structure. Here are 5 ideological traits of prosperity preaching without religious affiliation. Ministering from fear and trauma instead of teaching how to avoid mistakes and harness their individual wisdom. If it doesn't teach you to solve a problem or how to vet your situation individually, it is likely prosperity preaching. Red pill community radicalizes unhealed men with a professional victim mindset. Feminism radicalizes unhealed women with a professional victim mindset. Gaslighting conversations, intentionally escalating a conversation based on hypothetical scenarios to justify your position instead of using facts and data. Professional victim mentality. It's always about what someone did to you instead of taking ownership of your role in the event. Radicalization of an audience. Men and women that can be emotionally exploited to the point of immorally perverse and dangerous behavior in the name of a cause are prime targets for radicalization. This is why you have to have a level of emotional discipline, not emotional intelligence, because you don't have intelligence where you don't have discipline preceding it. So that goes back to everything that you guys were just talking about. She's not masculine because she asked a question for clarification. Okay. She's not masculine because she's taking care of the business that she's responsible for anyway. Because if she don't take care of the business she's responsible for, you're gonna clown her anyway. So what is she supposed to do?
Exactly. I had a friend say that. She's like, well, you don't want a broke chick. Then you turn around and you don't want, if I make my own money now, I'm masculine. Like, what do y'all want? And I was like,
and now when you compare that, right, what you just said, and I hate to jump in there, but think about when the men are complaining, saying, well, she won't like me because I'm not 6 foot. She won't like me because of this. She won't like me because of that. All of those immediate disqualifiers that they only really see on social media.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's the same thing, which means the same community of people that's complaining is the dating pool.
Right.
That's it.
And it's good that we're the voice of reasoning, because I told her, like, hey, a man told you cheese pizza, believe that man.
He didn't say he wanted pepperonis on that thing. He said cheese pizza. Don't put nothing else on there but cheese.
That's it. Cheese pizza. That's it.
And
don't put the
Papa John and some Papa John's garlic sauce.
Yeah, and don't put it and don't put pepperonis underneath the cheese. He said cheese
pizza.
Yeah. So and after having a conversation over time, she was like, you know what, you helped me connect some dots. Because the man was saying that he wanted space, but I took it like he didn't want to be around me, so I'll leave. And he's saying, no, he just wants space, but he don't want me to leave. And I'm like, if I ain't in your space, then I'm leaving. And I was like, okay, that's the man. That's what I was talking about when a man says he wants cheese pizza.
Right.
Because look, we're having a podcast right now. It's 3 men on here. I want to do this with peace, and I'm not saying my wife is not peaceful or anything, but I just want to talk to the homies right now.
Right. Absolutely.
You want to be in my space, then you providing an opinion, and I ain't asking for. And I'm not saying I don't respect your opinion, but sometimes me and my dogs, we just want to shoot the shot, and if we right or wrong, we right or wrong. We just being men right now.
Yep.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
I'm doing it in the comfort of our home, so you know where I'm at. It ain't like I'm at the bar. I see you. I see Cabby got a little wine glass, you know,
Yep.
and
Yeah, man.
yeah, I got my tea. I'm doing my
Oh, you drink a tea over there?
yeah.
You got that Earl Grey.
Man, I didn't realize I'm taking a break on the alcohol, man, because I've been abusing it for the past couple years, and I realized, man, like my recovery is taking longer. It's taking like 3 to 4
Oh,
days of
yeah.
recovery.
Okay.
So I'm like, man, this might have to be indefinite, or it might have to be a good 6 to 12 months for me to get back to normal and speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not to digress, it's like cheese pizza. Let me have my agency, my autonomy. And Vic can say something wrong, but let Vic be wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Let me be wrong, man.
Yeah, I got a brother. I got a younger brother, man, and you know, if I'm gonna talk to my younger brother, bro, it's gonna be about some nigga shit. I just can't. It's gonna be about big meats or something, but that's my younger brother, and that's how we connect. He only understands from his paradigm.
Yep.
So I was correlating this to this young lady, like, hey, you gotta understand that, man, that he just want to do something by himself right now. Yeah, you might know better, but let him figure it out his way. And if he realized that ain't working, then he'll come to you. Now, if he's leading you into a burning house, then that's something different. But if he's doing something by himself and it's not leading you into the burning house, then you got to respect this man's autonomy.
Yep. That's
Right
the thing
on.
that brought you to him. Like whether you know it or not, when you start learning the components of how a person is put together based on their own individual behavior, desires, passions, and all of that stuff, you got a decision to make to ride with it. And sometimes ride with it is not getting in the damn car.
What's that brother's name? Dedrick Brockington?
Yeah, Dedrick Brockington.
Dedrick, I don't know him personally, but
Yeah.
what he said on the last part right there, that
About
right,
men need safe spaces.
right, yeah, go ahead, put that up. Men need their safe spaces too. Men's mental health should be prioritized. Brother, you are saying so much right there, and it's like Eugene said too. It's not that you don't want to talk to your wife or your significant other. It's just, man, we have this space to where we can talk to each other in dialogue and get a lot off of our chest, man. This is healthy. It's healthy dialogue. You know what I'm saying? And it's worth having, because it's like this brother said, men's health should be prioritized. Like, yeah, let's have those self spaces. Let's have these dialogues. Let's have these conversations amongst each other, because at times there are things that you want to express, but you can't express with a woman, but you can definitely express with men, because men understand each other and we understand what each other's going through. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, I get with that right there. It's kind of like Eugene, you said, men need space. That's the honest to God. I think Eugene said it. You said that, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So if you look at the lyrics of "Hold On" by En Vogue, you know what I'm saying, that's one of the parts of the lyrics right there where it says that, you know what I'm saying, remember, he needs space. You know what I'm saying? Like, so at a point in time, whoever was writing those lyrics, which may have been a man, let those women know, hey, at some point in time, yeah, we gotta be away from you guys. You know what I'm saying? And have our own time.
Yep.
And that's okay. It's not like, there are women out here to say, well, my man, he don't want to talk to me about anything serious. Well, there may be a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? We may just want to talk to you about the soft things, but the hard things we want to talk to another man about.
Especially for the men that are the married men that have kids.
Yeah.
Because I believe that the accountable married men that respect their wives carve out the space that she needs to offset her obligation to the kids, if it's more than one. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You need that same thing.
Absolutely.
and you it's up to you to orchestrate that, period. You know, because from a leadership perspective, you have to, you know, put that in there. You don't have to get approval. You have to set the parameters for it based on the time that's available. And that may be you doing it after hours. You know what I'm saying? That may be you doing it in a certain block of time, and then you have to clear out a couple hours before that. You know what I'm saying? To ensure that you are already positioned to go do what it is that you said you was going to do for yourself. You know,
This podcast is therapy.
yeah.
Really.
Hey man, that's what I really wanted it to be. I believe this in the future. The podcast community is going to become more of a group therapy type of community.
Yes, it is eventually. Yeah.
I think that ultimately we go see therapists so we can air out our grievances, but we're not looking for the therapist to correct us. We're looking for the therapist or the therapy session to refine exactly what we're trying to say. Meaning, like, you ever been okay? I think a lot of couples have experienced a scenario where their wives, like as far as the men is concerned, most men can relate to their wives needing to talk to them, right?
Right.
And then when they hear their wife's complaint, their complaint is really about you at its core. But what you need to do is tell your lady to go to therapy and voice your grievance about me or you, whoever this applies to. Go tell it to the therapist first and help and listen and let the therapist help you shape the language you need to use so you can have an effective communication with your significant other. And that's the same thing for men too, because generally speaking, we're going to say something that we have a problem with, and we're probably going to be right in it, because if most masculine men don't have a laundry list of complaints. We got like these one or two things that's tied to all the other things that you're doing, but we pinpointed the one or two things that you do that make the other things suck, right? So when we get ready to assert ourselves, the tact that you have to use to get them to pause for a second, breathe, and digest what you're saying, you got to go get training for that. You got to learn not to be defensive. You got to learn not to be ready to go back and forth with somebody too, you know, especially you dudes who ain't been raised by no man. Because if you raised with a father in the house, that dude look at you, that your daddy is the first dude that can whoop your ass and to tell you that you ain't shit to your face. And dare you to try him. Absolutely. Some of y'all gonna say it sound like a bully, but life is a bully. You know what I'm saying? Life got many bullies. But your dad is the first reference point in your life to reset the way that you respond and express yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know that you're struggling with how you express yourself. And that's why a lot of the conversations you have meet points of contention for no reason, because you know what you want to say, but it's the means in which you express it. So that's a lack of tact, you know? So you can't be the point of contention and not work on the way that you deliver or respond. You understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like I want to use this platform to help sharpen men's listening skills. Because let me tell you something else too. You ain't got to react to everything. You ain't got to respond to everything, bro. You can go to bed.
Yeah.
You can go to bed.
That's where I'm at. Like my season was to get the engagement and get the conversations going. And you know where I'm at now is, hey, okay, Kevin said he gotta go. Is to, you know, drop the bomb and let it run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
So yeah, you ain't gotta respond. I'm not responding to everything no more. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Like I just had to get my little roast because it was getting a little out of line and it was getting a little disrespectful.
Mhm.
And you know, you you gotta train people too at the same time. Like, hey, you can't just say anything to me and I'm not gonna say nothing back.
Well,
Now,
yeah, that's true
yeah,
too. Like meaning that before you even get to that point, though, you got to recognize the red flags that'll let you know that that's where that person is headed to. You see
yeah,
what I'm
right.
saying?
Mhm.
Like like we had that conversation about the intangibles of what defines what a high value man is, or like I'd like to say, just a generally speaking, a masculine man,
Mhm.
and it's about the intangibles, the things that you can't see. It's the intuition. Being masculine comes with intuition, meaning like knowing what do we say, conflict resolution, right?
Right.
um Being objective. I like it's a blend of a lot of the stuff that you said, and it's a lot of stuff that I write about and I talk about, because being masculine is about um making things more efficient. Communication is what makes things more efficient, right?
Mm-hmm.
The world doesn't run based on the way that women communicate with each other. The world runs, the world runs on how men respect one another. That's
Mm-hmm.
why nobody says, am I my sister's keeper? They say, am I my brother's keeper? Brotherhood matters no matter where you are. The way that we communicate as men sets the precedent for the standards that we set for all forms of culture. Because if the men of the culture aren't respected by anybody, how are you going to expect to be like what type of reception are you going to have from other people? It's going to be mixed. It's not going to be people going to have a different response based on their engagement. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said before, there's a matriarchal and a patriarchal demographic to our community. You know what I'm saying? As far as Black people are concerned.
Right. Yeah, I was speaking with a brother saying the black community was matriarch, and I was like, yeah, I mean, single mothers is 7 out of 10, but when
That's
it's
saying something.
yeah, but I said when the man is there, then it changes that dynamic. So once again, we gotta break down these numbers and and understand the nuances. Um, but man, I like Calvin, man. That's a good dude, man. It's good to
That's my
be on,
guy right there,
yeah,
man.
be on a blog with other married men, because these red pill dudes, man, they be you be like, man, where y'all at? But what's so crazy about it though? The reason for the understanding is because I was there, bro. I was there.
That's why I say people got to graduate from that.
Yeah.
I think I had my before they was even calling it red pill. I might have had my what would be considered red pill. I probably had my experience when I was might have been 21,
Yeah,
22.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Right,
know,
right. Yeah, yeah.
uh,
That's how I was. Yeah, I was like this in college.
yeah,
So
you,
I
you
was like,
know,
hey, this was no wife happy life. I was really about that. So
right?
can
Yeah,
nobody tell me about what a objective devil's advocate is, because I was the devil's advocate all the way up till 2 years ago.
hmm
So, but now, where I'm at now is like, guys, we are 40 and up now. So, and you're only gonna get older, bro. And it don't get better. So if your bag ain't super big, bro, you need to make a play, bro. You need to set your expectations with reality too, and say, you know what? If I was speaking with a good friend of mine, man. He said, "Yeah, man, you can get in a wheelchair and your wife taking care of you." It's like, yeah, you could be in a wheelchair by yourself with nobody taking care of you.
That's true too. And the thing is, that's the lens that men generally have to look through it. You know, if they plan to live a life of, I don't know, just a diverse life that actually has memories that they want to be active in. You know what I'm saying? Because you could die today. You can die young. Me and dying young ain't new.
No, it's not. It's
It's
not.
not.
Yeah. So
Like, and I've been a firm believer that men deserve to grow old.
yeah, and you deserve to be happy.
Yeah. This
So
time last year we was watching or last summer we was watching rappers die on stage.
yeah, yeah, so that's that's why I'm like, man, I don't know what
In their
illumination.
40s.
Yeah, I don't, man. It's like, bro, I didn't have an illumination, like a very epiphany. Like, hey guys, y'all, we're 40 now, but it's like we're stuck at 20. Collectively speaking, not breaking
Yeah, I
it
get
down
it. I get it.
individually.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just like, yo, y'all, look, dying on stage, bro. You think about it. You've been smoking and drinking for 20 years straight with no detox. Your heart is clogged, bro. Then we don't want to go to the doctor. You got high blood pressure. You don't want to take that. You don't want to take medicine for it. You don't want to change the lifestyle. You just want to be smoking and drinking for 20 years straight.
It can be dangerous.
Yeah, you're dying on stage, bro, because you didn't give your body a chance, man. And ain't nothing wrong. But you know what they say? Everything's okay in moderation.
Yep.
But we don't take that. No, I'm turning up. It's Friday. Look, I even got caught up in it for a minute. Yeah, man. Hey, Sunday karaoke, Tuesday and Wednesday. Then it went to Thursday. We was here Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Mm.
And so now, bro, I stopped drinking. Saturday's going to be 4 weeks now. And man, me and my wife did this super detox where we soaked our feet in herbs, put the heat pad on us, rubbed the herbs, castor oil packs, and drink the tea. And man, like I did a fast. I think, bro, I lost like 5 pounds in 2 days. Boom, gone.
Mm-hmm.
I know I got fatty liver right now. I know my body is inflamed, and I'm just bringing that up because we're dying on stage. I told my wife, I said, man, this 40 and up is not looking too nice right now because every time we get on our timeline, somebody we know they die.
Yeah, you got to be careful, bro. Like, I think that we feel like we're in our prime, and there's some women out there that definitely have the conversation about they're not trying to be a hospice wife.
Right? Yeah, that's a real thing.
It's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? And I believe there's a lot of, based on that, there's an indication that there's some men out there that are not being honest and transparent about their health situation.
Right.
And they're basically lying by omission. So no woman wants to marry a man that's in the final stages of where he's in a health decline, and she shouldn't be obligated to take care of somebody that didn't take care of himself.
Yeah, so boom. It's like but it's like, hey guys, you thought that your value go up when you get older, but you did not. Getting old, I'm not scared of it, but complications come when you get older. It's things that hit you when you're 40 that didn't affect you when you was 20.
Yep.
The young lady that I gave a ride that had MS, she said that MS came out of nowhere, bro.
Yeah, man. Look, there's a quite a few things. Like, you don't like to speak. You don't like to cast a spell over yourself. I think the older you get, I think you should be. And I'm speaking for myself personally. I'm personally more careful about the words that I say, the words that I write, the context that I try to convey, and I care about representing the representation of my name. You know what I'm saying? Because that's generally all you have when it's all said and done is how did you impact other people, And since I'm a writer, I care about what I write. I care about the conversations I participate in. And I don't shy away from saying that. You know what I'm saying? Just like some people don't shy away from going to the opposite of what I'm saying. They're entitled to do that too. It's up to me to pay attention to what I care about the most. And that's what I wanted to say as I get ready to end tonight's broadcast. Is like, you got to take ownership of your relationship status with whatever you give your energy to. You have a relationship that's attached to the energy that is associated with where you aiming. You know what I'm saying? If you're focused on things that don't serve you, you're still in a relationship with it. You just on the outside. You the side bitch. You the side bitch to shit that you don't even like, and it sounds crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? And I say it like that because that's the most disadvantaged point you can be at in any situation is being the side bitch. You can't change it. You got to accept what comes out of it. And your complaints don't matter because you still gonna do what I want you to do. Or else you ain't got no access to me. So you the side bitch.
Exactly.
Like, is that not the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
You could say you wanted to change, but if you keep accepting the same behavior, it seems like you're complicit.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like where I'm at now, you know, I told my wife I was going to get therapy. I did it. Completed one of my classes. Got my other class be done next week. Gave up the alcohol. I'm getting the results that I want with that. And you know, I'm going to change my whole trajectory and family memories and experiences, man. That's where I'm at great age. And before it was just money and health. Fuck everything else. That was my motto. But I have somebody that genuinely cares for me, and I just so happy to have it. And hopefully there'll be other men that can find happiness and peace and empathy within their life. And don't get me wrong, I'm not naive or dumb. Like I said, I've been a knucklehead before, but I'm saying this for myself so I can be a better husband. It's like I'm happy that even my daughter, man, she even sees she's coming back home with 100s now. She was already a straight A, so now she's getting 100s, and that just shows like, hey, those positive acts that you do at home, that's really good for the kids, man, because they soak everything up.
Yeah, they ain't got no choice, man. Matter of fact, for those of you that have enjoyed this conversation, right? This is the plug for the book. Go get the book. It's the same name as the platform. It's Accountable Masculinity, identifying the disciplined man in you. Accountable masculinity intends to unify like-minded men to diversify and organize the talents of men regardless of their version of what true masculinity is. The goal is to simply be a better and more accountable version of yourself and on behalf of your relative culture. We are obligated as men to be in a position to coach, teach, and mentor. When you know better, should you not do better? It's not just to avoid burning bridges, it's to avoid destroying the access to the resources that protect you. You don't have to be a humble man, you just have to possess the capacity to display humility. I'm not humble. Survival mode negates accountable masculinity. Men should be working to get into resource positions to avoid pouring from empty cups that survival mode affords. Keep in mind, you can only have what you can afford. What does your brand of masculinity afford you? Go get the book. And with that being said, I greatly appreciate you all, and we out.
We rise together, brothers side by side. In this journey, we can let our pride defy. Lift each other up through the highs and lows. In this bond of strength, our unity grows. We got dreams to chase and goals to meet. In this circle of trust, we can't accept defeat. With love and respect, we build our legacy. Together we stand in accountable masculinity. Accountable masculinity, that's what we need. To be the change, to plant the seed. In every step, in every deed. Accountable masculinity, that's what we need. Through the struggles and the pain, we find our way.